Everyone knows the feeling of wanting something so bad that the thought of having it consumes you until you get it. The best way to describe it is a kid anxiously waiting for Christmas to come, and when December 25th finally arrives, they get to open their presents, and you hear excitement like this.
No way!
Our friend here wouldn't be having the same priceless reaction unless anticipation existed beforehand. However, what if the expectations become so large, the reveal is almost destined to underwhelm, or the product is just not that good? Here are the top 5 most anticipated technologies that disappointed. We start with QCAT, a cat-shaped handled barcode reader that enabled a user to open a link to an internet URL by scanning a barcode. Now let's keep this in context. In 1999, a premium computer looked like this, so a portable external device that had these capabilities caused much anticipation. So much so that the likes of Dallas Morning News, Radio Shack, and Coca-Cola, yes, the Coca-Cola, together invested $185 million in QCAT. With these 3 powerhouse investors along the ride, it was bound to be a success, right? Not so much. The initial controversy started with privacy concerns surrounding QCAT's interface. Users would sign up online revealing their name, age, emails, and zip codes, which was only shortly breached after the product had just been released. It had come to the point where websites developed solutions to block and encrypt data being scanned by QCAT. With the prevalence of Apple's iPod in 2011, Microsoft was looking to counter an industry that the iPod held 74% of market share. This counter was called Zune. Like the Apple iTunes, the Zune would be paired with its own marketplace. Leading up to the release, even CNET, a staple American media website, praised the product as a high-profile underdog to Apple's iPod. Now, those of you that don't know how the Zune narrative played out, let's ask the streets 10 years later. Have you ever heard of Zune before?
Never heard of it. No, never heard of it.
No, I did not hear that.
Zune. Oh, those were those little, like, music player things. I guess dated and kind of unimportant.
Unimportant is correct. Many believe that the mighty, powerful, and rich brand of Microsoft would have the financial and intellectual resources to not only match the iPod, but revolutionize the industry. That's right, I'm telling you folks, the hype surrounding Zune was swallowed up and believed by many. Those views were soon to be disproved as the bulky size, constant freezing, and inability to use social features such as song sharing all proved to be huge disappointments. Released on January 30th, 2007, Windows Vista, an operating system created by Microsoft, was set to revolutionize the state of user security along with increasing levels of sharing media files between computers. Let's go ahead and say, leading up to this launch date, the hype had been real, as 2 years prior, the beta version had been downloaded by over a whopping 5 million people. Microsoft had spent years telling the public how Vista was going to be the operating system to beat all the competition to the ground. Well, they were sorely mistaken and must have not accounted for the excess of complaints a majority user had with the system. The main concern being the price. Not only did you have to constantly purchase premium upgrade packages, but users had to upgrade their computer hardware just to run Vista. Now discontinued, there's only one thing I can think of that would have made Vista a success: the introduction to memes a lot sooner. Introduced in July 2011, the Touchpad was Hewlett-Packard's attempt to compete with Apple's iPad. Haven't we heard this before? With powerful video capability and impressive processing speeds, the Touchpad was widely anticipated to be among the only products that could give Apple a run for its money. Despite large-scale press events and promotions, the HP Touchpad was a colossal failure and was discontinued almost immediately. As a result of the Touchpad's failure, the company wrote off $885 million in assets and incurred an additional $755 million in costs to wind down its WebOS operations, ending all work on the Touchpad's failed operating system. The ILISA is a personal computer designed by Apple during the early 1980s. Known as the first computer to offer a graphical user interface, the ILISA was well anticipated by individual business users. Apple saw a huge potential in this computer, investing more than $50 million on its own development. The potential also resonated to the public, as an influential American magazine, Byte, had labeled ILISA as the most important development in computers over the last 5 years. At a whopping $10,000, equivalent to nearly $24,000 today, the Apple Lisa was a huge failure, unable to compete with its cheaper competition IBM. After remodeling and reducing the price of the Lisa 2, Apple realized that their business model was still not working. The Lisa was discontinued in 1986.